Good day, mates. Sorry I'm late to talk about the game. And we have to start with Bart versus the Space Mutants, which are supposed to be Kane and Kronos from the series. The Simpsons have been around since 1980s, and sadly it still keeps going. I used to like the show back in the day in the late 90s. It was fun back then. The old Simpsons were funny back then, since the early 2000s. But after all that, the seasons keep on getting worse and worse and worse. And hopefully pretty soon they'll end. But anyways, let's talk about the game. The game is plain and simple. You're playing the Bart, or to save the world to fight the evil space mutants. And whenever you got the shades on, and you'll see they're humans or aliens. Also, I always find these mutant aliens so creepy looking. It's also on NES and Sega Genesis. And get used to it, folks. You'll be hearing that music play going on and on for a long time. I was never playing this game when I was younger. I did not have that much fun with it. My younger self could not realize what I'm supposed to do. Turns out you have to make sure, or one of the characters are the aliens, and you do these certain missions to help people. And once you get Maggie, she can help you fight a few interesting bosses. Also, you have to buy a rocket toy to aim at Springfield's president. And you want to make sure you have to color everything red. And whatever they color will be purple. Yeah, this game is a no-brainer to say. Stupid commercials. Anyhow, later on the game gets a little bit difficult, and aliens will come up with better plans. Into my making shoes float. And then other things you have to collect. The gameplay can be very hard to do, because you want to make sure you're standing on floating platforms and all that stuff. I think the only time I talked about The Simpsons was basically the arcade one, which is pretty good. But the first time I actually talked about an NES based off, well, most likely the series. This game is pretty much the only character that you play Bart, or who's out to save the world and defeat well, pretty much the aliens, and some of the characters are from the show. Spoiler alert, Sideshow Bob is also in part of this game too, who has a boss. There's just not much else to say about the levels, designs. They're fine, I guess. And except for this scary scene right here of Krusty the Clown in the background. I'm just watching you. That is scary. Anyhow, part of the Simpson family will help you in trouble to fight interesting enemies. And you have to collect exit signs, do all this and everything else. You know, basic classic platforming video game style. And you have to make it there before the timer runs out and you have only to carry 9 lives, like a cat. You have to act quick before the timer goes out. Yeah, that happens. So you have to avoid like cobras, spiders, all kinds of interesting enemies in this game, traps, and even this difficult part that you have to jump perfectly on those skeletons of prehistoric animals. If you don't, you'll fall into the tar pit. And yep, you're seeing this right now. You're seeing Bart finding a prehistoric T-Rex. So, blah blah blah, there's not much else to say about these levels that you've seen in many video game cliches before. Park level, stores, a circus, Egyptian stage in prehistoric time for some reason, factory, blah blah blah. Let's just wrap this up as quickly as possible. So here's the ending of the game. And once you get through all that mess, and you finally save the world. And this is pretty much how the game ends. This game was not that good. I'm sorry to say this, but if you're like a huge Simpsons fan, you might actually enjoy playing the 2007 game. That's actually a bit better than this one. But believe me, I'll get to that another time. There's like tons of late Simpsons 90s games that I'll probably get to talk about pretty soon. But for now, this game deserves to be left behind the past of other long and forgotten games. I mean, for a game called Bart versus the Space Mutant, it's not really much of an interesting, good game. And Bart will pretty much have the same pixelated style in the next game, called Bart versus the World, which I'll get to another time. So all I can say is, if you're like a huge Simpsons fan, you might actually play the 2007 in-game. It's really good. And so is the arcade game. That's basically the best one because it's a beat-em-up game by Konami. This game, however, I'm sadly to say, this is not really a really good game. It's fine at times, but I'm sorry to give this game a low grade. It didn't really have any interesting music to play, which they only used the Simpsons theme music throughout the entire game on how cheap it is. As I give this game a down low grade of 3 out of 10. A below average platforming game. And most people would agree or disagree if this game is really that bad. This game is definitely on the list of other forgotten bad games out there. And deserves to be left forgotten. I'll see you guys when I talk about another lost game that deserves to be reviewed and remastered in a near video gaming future.